I'm Stephanie, and welcome to Fiction Files. This is the playlist where I talk about all things writing, and today I'm talking a bit more in depth about character goals. In another episode, I broke down creating character goals and giving our characters proper motivations. But that's not to say that goals are static. Your protagonist's goals will change throughout the story as new conflicts arise and as the protagonist makes choices about those conflicts. So just to recap on goals and motivations, a goal is a conscious objective the character wants. Motivation is the reason they want that goal. Every character has to have a goal or something that they want. We don't want to read about Joe, who has an average life and goes to work and is content to just stay at home at night. We need action. We need to know why his story matters. What does he want? But, like I said, your character's goals will change. What they want at the beginning may not be what they want by the end of the story. So, where can we expect goals to change throughout a story? First is after the inciting incident or the catalyst. At this point in your story, the character is embarking on a big change. Naturally, their goals would change too. Say your character, Jane, had a goal of getting a coveted promotion at work. She is going to beat the competition no matter what it takes. She arrives at work to prepare for her final interview for the promotion, and one of her coworkers is dead. Her goal has to change. The stakes are now raised. Jane's goal now would become figuring out who killed her coworker and why. Goals will change again after the midpoint. The midpoint is where your story goes through another major shift or a bombshell is dropped. Your character's goals will change accordingly to the new circumstances and the new stakes. Let's take the Jane example. Jane has been trying to figure out who would murder her colleague, and at the midpoint, it's revealed that the evidence is pointing toward Jane herself. She did it. She literally killed the competition. But she didn't. We've been with Jane the whole time. Someone is setting her up. Now her goal is to prove her innocence so the real killer is found. And finally, goals will change after the protagonist experiences a great loss or setback. This beat is often called the all is lost or dark night of the soul beat, and it's when a protagonist is feeling like giving up. It's not worth the fight anymore. They've lost too much. But something happens here that forces them to act, to keep going, and try to achieve a new goal. Let's go back to Jane. Jane has now lost her job because of the charges against her. She's out on bail and has to decide if she accepts what happens or solve the murder mystery herself. She is going to unmask the killer because they can't take her life too. Now, I'm not saying you have to rework your entire outline because this isn't always applicable to all stories. But change is necessary for stories. So even if your major story-wide goals don't necessarily change this much, the protagonist has to change up their tactics toward achieving the goal, or they have to create smaller goals to solve subplot problems or overcome conflicts that the antagonist puts in their way. Essentially, it shouldn't be an easy, straightforward path toward achieving their goal, or goals, plural. We read stories to experience change and growth that we may never have in our own lives. And part of that change is setting, refining, and reaching goals. Or sometimes letting certain goals go because they no longer serve us or will give us what we need. What other ways have you seen characters' goals change throughout a story? Share your insights in the comments below. Otherwise, thanks for watching Fiction Files.